Well, yesterday, ABC Tri-Cities took you along for my trip back in March to New York City to visit my niece, Good Morning America's Amy Robach. It just so happened that very morning, terrorists attacked Brussels, Belgium, changing the tone of our visit entirely. Well, this evening, we're sharing the original focus of that trip, a glimpse into our ABC Tri-Cities family, which extends specifically to my very real family relationship with Amy. Here's that side of the story. She's graced magazine covers, interviewed presidents, big-name celebrities, and even traveled the world. But to me, Good Morning America news anchor Amy Robach, my niece, will always be this little girl. I did what you said. It had been months since we'd seen each other, and Amy was going to make sure I felt welcome, even sharing her glam squad to do my hair and makeup that morning.
This is normally my seat, but it's your seat for the morning. And
the perks of being a relative, right? Amy is my sister Joni's daughter. I was 6 years old when she was born. She was the tiniest, pinkest little thing. She was, I remember as a child, it really struck me because my dad said, I can hold her in one hand. Glam squad, done.
You look great.
I know.
Oh my God, you're beautiful.
They're coming to Tennessee. No, they're not. My niece Amy, on the other hand, has been to the Tri-Cities. It was almost 5 years ago.
I was there for your wedding, and it was beautiful, and I was so honored to be there. It was such a happy occasion, and you were so happy and radiant.
That's Amy. It took her and her husband most of the day, layovers and a car rental to make it for my wedding. They could only stay for a short while, but for Amy, family is everything.
Where we continue to cover the very latest on the Belgium terror attacks.
In fact, the day I visited was the day of the Brussels terrorist attacks.
Good morning, America. Breaking news. Brussels under attack.
Amy was being pulled in every direction for breaking news, but she was determined to make time for me.
Robin actually said to me on the plane, we landed at 3:30 this morning. She said, God, I hope today's an easy day.
How would you describe our relationship growing up?
I worshipped you. I worshipped Annie. I even named my daughter Anna and call her Annie. I wanted to be just like you. I wanted to look like you. And so I kind of did that. You went to journalism school at the University of Georgia, graduated with a degree in broadcast news, and started as a reporter. And I pretty much followed directly in your footsteps.
And then Amy became the trailblazer, rising in the ranks of television journalism while keeping family close at heart. I was at NBC, you were at NBC. Yeah. You go to ABC, I'm at ABC. And we shared things like that throughout the years. I think that's a bond that I don't think many people get to have with their niece.
You are the sister, the older sister, that I always wished I had. And we really do have that relationship because we've shared things over the years.
When it comes to sharing, I've never known anyone as generous as Amy. Look at those. Those are absolutely gorgeous.
If you can fit in them, you can borrow them.
Are they painful? It doesn't matter.
For 2 hours, you can handle anything. And I wore a lot of your hand-me-downs when I went to school. I wore your clothes, and why change a good thing?
Yeah, I gotta say, I got the better end of that stick, though, because your hand-me-downs today are much, much nicer than my hand-me-downs were in the 80s. In her work, Amy's as professional as it gets. Factual, to the point, all business. But the Amy I know has never shied away from her strong emotions. She cried, and I mean bawled, every time she left our house. And then there's her family-famous love. Okay, so here's how Amy was when I was I was probably about 10 years old. So she was
I would have been 4.
Yeah, just a little girl, and she would do this. And she would squeeze. She would take my arm and she would squeeze it as tightly as she could and just say, I love you so much. I mean, it was everything. It was coming out of you.
It was a town of Ligurians.
A few years ago, Amy surprised her mother, me, and a group of her closest girlfriends with her signature generosity. She took us all to Italy. She wanted us to know we're special to her and to celebrate health, happiness, and life as only Amy can. She'd had a very public fight against breast cancer. And like everything I've witnessed my niece do, she took it head on with bravery, faith, and determination. And in the end, Amy was grateful, and she wanted to share the gift of life renewed. She couldn't help but be generous. Amy generous.
You'll never feel love like I gave you.
That's true. It's about the truth of it. And before we had to leave, I asked Amy one last question. I said, if you can only take one of your coworkers from Good Morning America with you to live on a deserted island, who would it be? And she thought for quite a bit before saying, Robin. Robin because we're survivors. Both Amy and Robin Roberts are cancer survivors, and both are thriving after beating cancer. You can see Amy Robach weekday mornings right here on ABC Tri-Cities Good Morning America, as well as on the shows she often contributes to, 2020, Nightline, and World News Tonight.